Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bedtime with Tomi. This evening we will be reading chapter 30, Clara's point of view. Clara's stomach performed somersaults. Her eyes traveled down the length of her leg to the worn-out purple cast. A door opened and closed. Clara, welcome back. We've missed you at LABT, but I've heard glowing reviews about your performances in London. The ballet company's therapist pulled out his stool from underneath the exam table and sat down. Dr. Brown is reviewing the most recent set of x-rays and scanned your ticket at the medical clinic yesterday. He'll swing by in just a few minutes for a physical exam. In the meantime, let's get this nasty old cast off. Dancers are fast healers, and I'm pretty confident in saying that you'll be leaving here with a boot. I'm more than ready to be able to shave my legs again and take a shower, Clara joked. Rifling through a drawer full of tools, the physical therapist brought out a small saw and in less than a minute cut her way through the thick fiberglass. The change in pressure was immediate. "Oh, that's so much better," she exclaimed, lifting her much lighter leg. Emily said the same thing when I removed her wrist cast. Using a dampened cloth, the PT took a few moments to clean the leg. There, all better. Holding her breath, Clara took her first proper look at her foot. She'd known the muscles would atrophy, but seeing it in person made the reality of her situation sink in. There would be no easy road back to the stage. It would take her weeks, if not months, to build up not just her calf muscles, but all the tiny muscles in her foot, too. "Clara!" Dr. Brown walked into the exam table and shook her hands with her. "How are you today?" "Hi, Dr. Brown. I've been better." "I know that look." He walked over to the sink, washed his hands, and dried them with a towel. "I know it's unnerving to see your legs so weak, but trust me, it's perfectly normal." He ran his hand along the joint line and carefully palpated her toes. "The bones feel good. Ligaments are tight, but normal. So far, so good. Any persistent pain?" Clara leaned back on her elbows. "No pain in my foot. I did have some pain in my lower back, but that went away the second week I had a cast. I think my body was just getting used to the unusual weight I had to move with it. If it returns, let me know." The doctor walked over to the computer opposite the exam table and pulled up her scans. "The x-ray was taken right after you. These were the x-rays right after you were injured." He clicked and changed images. "And this one is from yesterday. Comparing the two scans, the hairline looks to have completely healed." Clara fist pumped. "Does that mean I can start in on PT?" "Yes, Clara, it does." The doctor grinned. "I'm clearing you to go ahead and start with some slow, basic weight-bearing exercises. It's going to take some time to regain strength. Remember that you have to walk before you can dance. I'm going to put you in a walking boot for 2 weeks. It can be removed when you're doing PT and at night, but otherwise, you should keep it on." "Got it. What about the crutches? Can I ditch them?" "Soon. You'll need them for a few days. I'd like you to start with partial weight bearing with the boot and slowly transition back to normal walking. We don't want to overload your body and cause a setback." "Understood. Do you have any more questions for me?" "No." "Okay then, I'll leave you two ladies to get to work. Feel free to email or call me if you need anything." He left the room. "I'll get you fitted for a boot in a few minutes," the therapist said. "But before that, I'm going to show you a few mobility exercises you can do at home. I'll start you off with coming in to see me 3 times a week. We'll work on getting your foot back to normal, but also on building up the supporting muscles too. Now is when the real work begins." As Clara tested her leg for the first time in 4 weeks, she was happy to see she was able to stand unassisted. It was weak from lack of use, but held. She felt like a child learning to walk again. Each step is a milestone. I'll be back by the winter season. I know I will. The following Wednesday morning, the artistic director's overly friendly secretary waved her in. "Good morning, Clara. I just heard the news. Congratulations. The phone's been ringing non-stop. Artem will see you now." Puzzled, she managed to say, "Thanks." "This is the Los Angeles Ballet Theater. How may I direct your call this morning?" The secretary had already turned her attention back to her phone. Pulling the door open, Clara entered Artem's office. Posters of the company's past productions of Swan Lake, Coppelia, The Sleeping Beauty, and The Nutcracker adorned the wall. He signaled for her to take a seat. "Yes, we're very fortunate." "No, the sign point shoes would only be sent to you for a donation above 10,000. Artem held his end. "Certainly. We can have them personalized to your daughter." Uh-huh, uh-huh. Great. Well, if you have any other questions, just give my secretary or the donor relations department a call. Clara folded her hands on her lap. Her leg jittered up and down. Was he gonna want an ETA? When she could be back? She didn't have an answer for him. It was all wait and see. Worst case, she supposed maybe he could push her soloist contract back a couple of months. In the meantime, maybe I can ask about teaching classes with the LABT school this fall to stay busy. I really liked working with Jenna, and I'd like to see if it's something I enjoy doing long term. Since she'd been back in LA, Clara had found herself beginning to spend time wondering what exactly her future held for her. What was going to happen when her body could no longer handle the demands of a professional career? It was a question she had pushed aside, thinking she had years before she'd have to give any thoughts or considerations to it. But now, everything had changed. With only PT to fill her days, she had more free time than ever. Her friends made time for her when they could, but they worked full-time jobs. Her dance friends were in rehearsal during the day and performed at night. Clara read books, went shopping, and to the movies, but it did little to help quell her feelings of loneliness and isolation. She'd been so focused on her career that she'd lost sight of the fact that without dance, there was a gaping hole left behind. I'll call David today, even if I'm still a little mad at him. I just can't stand it anymore. I need to hear his voice. I need him in my life. I should never have pushed him away. I love him so much to go through life without him. Sorry about that, Artem hung up the phone. No problem. I have nothing but time at the moment. Clara attempted to sound enthusiastic as she wiped her palms on the side of her yoga pants. How long have you been with us, Clara? I've lost count. Is it 3 seasons? Actually, it's 5. Artem laughed. I'm pretty sure it hasn't been that long, but however many seasons you've been with us, we've come to appreciate everything you've done for LABT. It's 5 seasons, but it wouldn't do well to correct. Well, I have loved every part of being with LABT. You've given me a lot of opportunities, and I'm excited to be able to continue to grow as a soloist. That much was true. She dearly appreciated LABT for being the only company that initially offered her a contract out of the Seattle Ballet Academy. When you called me a couple weeks ago, I'll be the first to admit that I was worried that I might have been wasting a contract on a dancer who was past her prime. You have to admit, 27 is pretty old for a dancer. She resisted the urge to cringe. What was he alluding to? But I'm happy to see that you've used your time away from us wisely. Artem leaned forward in his seat. Instead of being a soloist, what would you say if I instead were to promote you to principal? Principal? She sputtered. I mean, it would be an honor. It's something I've always dreamed about since I was a little girl. Clara's mind drifted to the years of schooling and the sacrifices she made. Artem had never been so kind to her before. Usually, everything was treated as a business transaction between them. Clara knew she wasn't one of the favorites, but she stayed out of the way, learned quickly, and did her job. Excellent. With all the attention you're about to receive, there's no question you'll bring a bunch of new donors. You think you could mention to Prince David we'd like to have him host our Nutcracker fundraisers? After the budget issues we had last year, your romance couldn't have come at a better time. Her face started to burn. Many questions ran through her head. Excuse me? What are you talking about? Prince David? Artem's mouth tightened. You don't have to play coy with me. The news broke this morning. It's all over the internet. What's all over the internet? You dating Prince David? Clara's crutches clattered to the ground. She fumbled for her phone. As she unsilenced it and unlocked the screen, she took note of about 20 missed calls from David, Amanda, and a few other unknown numbers. She launched her internet browser and typed in her name. The top results yielded articles and headlines reading, Boring Royal might not be so boring after all. The Boring Royal bags ballerina, and leads and is leading lady. Her hand flew to her mouth. No, 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 no. She tapped the link halfway down the page. The Bachelor Prince may not be a bachelor for much longer. A source close to the royal family reports that Prince David has secretly been dating American ballerina Clara Little for an unspecified amount of time. The two have been reported as appearing all over London when Little was in town for a charity gala performance. For an exclusive look at how their romance has been unfolding and to hear about what Clara Little's fellow ballerinas had to say at her, see page 3. I don't know why you're seeing this as such a bad thing, Clara. It's about time you do something useful for the company. Useful for the company? Clara's head jerked up, her jaw clenched. What do you call all the extra things I've done for you and the company over the past 5 seasons? I've showed up to class and rehearsals every single day ready to dance, no matter what. I've skipped out on taking any vacations so I could fill in on short notice for dancers who are ill or injured. I've even pushed through my own injuries because I knew the company was short on bodies. Was that not being useful to you? Clara, quit being so dramatic. You were doing what was in your contract. Her fists clenched. Was this how Artem saw her? Did she truly only hold material value to the man she danced for the past 5 years? Suddenly, she recalled an earlier conversation she'd had with Igor. Is the only reason you bothered promoting me to solo is because Igor told you if I didn't, there was a chance another company might hire me for this position? Artem's face paled. It may have come up once, but I can't remember. All this time, I've given my loyalty to LABT, and they've never even believed in me. Could I have become a principal dancer by now somewhere else? Did you ever see me as being more than a core member? Artem scratched his forehead. Clara, let's not do this. She pounded her fist on the desk. Answer me. I have to know. When you received a contract offer from LABT during your first season, I owed a favor to the Seattle Ballet Academy's director. Carla had talked Mitzi Fellows into joining us as a principal dancer instead of one of the New York companies. In return, he told me I had to take a former student who could be useful to me since she was a quick study. Clara's head began to thrum. Mitzi was about 2 classes below mine. She won a million different ballet competitions. Every company wanted her because she was so tall and willowy. Hearing the truth burned. Artem had only hired her because her old teacher had asked him to. She had heard enough. I quit. He flinched. Clara, be reasonable. At the end of the day, ballet is a business. You can't blame me for doing what I can to stay afloat. She retrieved her crutches from the ground. Don't say anything else. I refuse to be used by the company's marketing tool for being tied to someone famous. I'm one of the hardest working dancers out there. I know I'm talented. There are plenty of other companies who will see the value I bring in them with my dancing. Goodbye, Artem. I won't be seeing you again. Clara tried hard to keep her emotions in check and was able to make it out the door before breaking down. She walked quickly to an empty stairwell, not wanting to go out in public quite yet. She just needed to be strong. She couldn't believe she'd just quit LABT. Clara reached for her phone. Double-checking once more that she was alone, she dialed Amanda's number. C-O-M-G. About time you called. Tell me what you need from me. This was her best friend. She didn't ask how she was doing. She jumped straight into asking how she could help. I just quit LABT. Can you come pick me up? I might need your evasive driving skills. Text me the address and I'll be there at 20. She wiped her puffy eyes and sniffled. Sharing my location with you now. Got it. Just making a U-turn. Clara heard the sound of a couple cars honking their horns. She met Amanda cutting across lanes of busy traffic. Thank you, eh? It's what friends are for. So that was the end of chapter 30 of Dancing with the Royal, and we are getting to the heart of the end of this story now. And I did want to mention that for dancers, a normal day is fairly long. They do take morning class, have rehearsals all day, and then perform at night. So it's not uncommon for them to have no free time. When they are injured, it's difficult, to put it lightly. They are expected to do physical therapy, visit their doctors. A lot of them will attend rehearsals or pop in to see the physio just to try and stay in shape. But it's hard for them to be out. It's like they're professional athletes in essence. With Clara quitting and saying that she could maybe find another company, that's actually not true. It's very, very difficult to make it in the world of ballet. There's many more dancers than there are spots in a company, and I touch on this in a later book, Designs on Love, but you know, is very difficult to make it to any professional sport or professional company in general. Only the top 1 or 2% of those who try make it. And you know, a company like LABT, I modeled after some of the current companies that are in Los Angeles now, or American Ballet Theater in New York. I intended it to be a premier company, but if you make it out of the corps de ballet to a soloist, that's just a huge accomplishment. But principal is on another level, and it's sad. I like to think that someday a dancer like Clara, who's been biding her time in the corps, will be promoted, and there are 1 or 2 or 3 stories about that, but unfortunately it's not reality. Catherine Morgan, a YouTuber who was a member of the New York City Ballet, one of the largest companies, has some great video content speaking about company life, and I highly encourage you to check it out. So I will end this video here just because it's getting a little long, and I hope you join me next time. Have a good night, Rip.